was sensational to keep it on the toe into the in goal, and the Broncos continued to build pressure on the Dragons.
Lieutenant, who brings it back, and the crowd hoot and holler for a high tackle from Wayman, but there was nothing in it as Maguire takes it down within range of the 20. A full set of 6 once again from close range here for the Broncos. McCulloch searching out a dummy half, watched there by Merrin and also Wayman, and they've racked up some tackles in the middle, those two already. Here's a spin, Maguire, it goes to the hands of Lockyer. He's away to Teo. They'll wrap him up. Nice tackle made there by Dan Hunt as Hodges comes back to Lockyer. Now Wallace, a man on his outside. One of them is Beale. Here's Reid, but again Nightingale has his number. 2 good tackles on him the last 2 times he's caught a ball. Here's Parker. Gets away from the tackle of Cray. Standing, offloading. Goes to McCulloch. Hannants. Stopped there by Cooper and Cray. Probing for a way through. They haven't found one as yet. They've been close. Lockyer. He gives it to Teo. Good tackle made by Trent Merrin. And the Dragons hang on again. The Broncos come up with it with 6 more tackles. They're only 3 metres out from the line. Jumping out of dummy half, a chance now. They're cut down a couple of metres away. Here's Wallace giving it to Maguire. He spins in the tackle. Lockyer standing in behind the play the ball. They go to him now. He has Teo coming with him, and the Broncos off all the pressure. They score, they play from in front tonight. It had to tell. They kept pounding away at the Dragons' line, and eventually it's Teo who gets across.
Well, their completion rate tonight has been excellent. 11 from 11 for the Brisbane Broncos. They're dominating possession and they're dominating field position.
And now Parker, who has struck them well in 2011, adds the extra 2. And this big crowd again at Suncorp Stadium, cheering themselves on early. 6-0 it is. It was beautifully worked. They had them stretched, and Lockyer knew exactly where to go. In his rookie season as a coach, Anthony Griffin. What a year it's been.
It's been a sensational year from Anthony Griffin. It's still not over. Who knows where they may end up, the Brisbane Broncos. At the moment, they're 6 points in front against the St George Illawarra Dragons. Still plenty of football left in this game.
And McCulloch gives it off to Maguire. He works it up towards the 30. 7 hit-ups already, 13 tackles. Now McCulloch again. Just runs out of dummy half. We've got them going and taking the extra metres, and now Beale will follow suit off a quickish play. The ball. He stands, offloads. McCulloch is there. Wallace. They look ready to link up at any stage until that point. Boy, McCulloch did well once again. There was nobody at home at dummy half, and he beat them to the ball, and somehow they kept it. Now Lockyer. He puts it up. Things are happening for the Broncos here tonight. Again, Hornby running the chasers off the ball, and again, no whistle from the referee.
No, well done there from Ben Hornby, but the Dragons forwards, they're slow to react at the moment defensively. Dean Young is about to take part in this contest for the first time. Michael Wayman's the first interchange, but really the Broncos out of dummy half was too easy, making huge metres. They've dominated possession. Soward out of dummy half, looking for a 40-20.
Not a bad attempt, and then it clean bowls Jared Beale. He goes back to pick up the crumbs. We saw Michael Wayman come from the field, and it's Dean Young who comes on for him. Wayne Bennett starting the game with 3 front rowers. Young goes back in now. Merrin stays out there with Dan Hunt. Here's Hodges loping across the field. And the trademark style, Wallace over the top. Reid showing it to Nightingale. Coming across to make a good tackle is Beau Scott. They are using the ball in the width of the field so nicely here tonight. Wallace going to the line himself, getting through one, then two. Stopped and only just about 23 away. Lockyer going to the short side, popping it over the top. Copley had a chance.
Well, he's having a great game, Darren Lockyer, heavily involved. He looks as fast as he's ever been tonight. Just slicing through the Dragons' defence. And Copley, if he takes this, he scores.
You'd have backed him in from there, Anthony Griffin. He was certainly backing him in like he was a favourite at Eagle Farm.
But his running game, Darren Lockyer tonight, is really worrying the Dragons.
Heads in.
Just getting his hands on the football.
Stay there, ball in. Ball in. Out.
Another scare for the Dragons, but they survived that one. They work it away off the back of the scrum. Gasnier playing it. Comes across to Merrin. They're up in his face early. Hannon was there. They grabbed him in a three-man tackle. Parker, McCulloch also involved. And drove him back to where the scrum was set. Now Hunt. Minimal gain for him. Plays it just outside the 20 as Sauer comes across to Gasnier. Goes to Reid, but Reid in his stellar season makes another good stop. Sauer gives it to Hornby. Now Young getting a touch. Glenn is up in his face. Young keeps it alive though. Goes back to Rain. He saw they were up on the outside, so he took it himself and took it back to the halfway line as Scott feeds it on the last play. Sauer again, kicking it. Not a great strike, this one. It'll wobble its way down to Jared Beale, who sums things up. This time he'll stumble as he comes back towards Hornby and Cray. With the Broncos, well, they are dominating field position, aren't they?
They are, but they're not dominating on the scoreboard, and that'd have to be a concern. You know, if the Dragons, can get their fair share of possession, who knows what they might be capable of producing. But the Broncos need to put this pressure and turn it into points.
Here's Wallace going to the line. He had Glenn coming with him. And Beale was also there. Lockyer has stopped. So it goes to Parker. Keeps it alive. It comes to Wallace now. Wrapped up there by Cooper, who has to come in a long way from his left centre position to make the tackle. Last play here. Again, they go to Lockyer. It keeps it alive this time. Comes away to Teo. Hodges, half a chance for the Broncos. Maguire has it. The Dragons get numbers there. It comes back to Hodges. Looking and searching, he loses the ball. There were just too many white jumpers there with a big red V on the front of them for the Broncos, and there was nothing doing in the end for Justin Hodges.
It was great scramble defence, but also great vision from Darren Lockyer. He looked up, he identified the Dragons were short on their left edge. He ran the football on last play, but the scramble from the Dragons was excellent. They're continuing to hold on here St George Illawarra.
Again, the Broncos, they hold a team scoreless in the opening 20. A phenomenal record this season when they do that. 11 wins, 11 opportunities. Hunt, he gets a breather. Here's Beau Scott, brings it back to the halfway line. The Dragons have not had a scoring chance so far in the opening 23 minutes. Hunt, or rather Merrin, spinning in the tackle. Eventually, they'll say held as four of them get involved. The last again for Soward, who puts it up in the air this time. We'll see if they can get somebody to the contest. The kick's too deep for the chasers. And again, Beale this time makes a rather easy catch without going to the air. And they keep diffusing things, working it away from their own end.
Just not enough urgency there by the Dragons. They put the football in the air to test Beale out. But they just allowed him to take the football uncontested. They need to make everything a contest out here, the Dragons. Again, easy yards from Justin Hodges out of dummy half. Now Teo carrying the ball forward.
He brings it back within 10 of the halfway line as Maguire goes to Pryor, who's out there now also off the bench. Coming into the game for Dan Hunt a moment ago was Wallace. We'll put it up. Nightingale standing underneath it. Glenn is coming towards him, and Nightingale in that style that Darius Boyd also utilises, trying to catch it and throw the leg out as a bit of defence, and now Gasnier, he puts it down.
Well, that's a sign of fatigue. When you see Mark Gasnier dropping the football, coming out of trouble, that is a sign of fatigue. And if Gasnier is fatigued, you can only imagine how the forwards are feeling. This is a big set of 6 now coming up for the Dragons. This is what the Broncos were looking for.
Peter Wallace will come back to feed it to the man you saw in the background there, Darren Lockyer. Standing right behind the scrum. Thinking, given the weight of possession they've had, which is almost 60% for the Broncos, they need to have more points on the board. We'll see if they can get them here. Here's Beale going towards Cooper. You had him going backwards and looking rather uncomfortable for a moment, but he got some help from the inside. Now Hannant going to spin in the tackle as he goes towards Merrin and also Craig. He's only about 7 metres out when he plays it. Here's McCulloch going from dummy half. They came out quick on the inside. Young was looking at the first receiver. And McCulloch almost snuck in behind them. Lockyer takes them on himself. Wrapped up there by Cooper, who is so strong on his own line. Made a remarkable tackle earlier this year against the Rabbitohs to save what looked to be a certain try. Here's Parker, standing, getting it away as he went to ground. Hodges stepping into half a gap again, trying to force the issue. And again the ball goes to ground and the Dragons come up with it.
Yeah, a little bit of panic there from the Brisbane Broncos. I think they know that they need to be further in front at this stage of the game. And they lost their way. They lost their structure in that set of 6. Wayne Bennett would be particularly proud of his players at this moment. Only 6 points behind. They've had to do a lot of defending, and that's a courage run there from Dean Young. Just tucking it straight under the arm and carrying it forward.
Now they go through Soward across to Gasnier, but look at Jack Reed, how strong he is. It has been an unbelievable season from him. And he has made the left centre position his own. And he can have it for as long as he wants, you'd imagine, for the Broncos. And while Anthony Griffin is in charge, Wayne Bennett still unmoved up there in the coach's box and quietly, secretly, pretty happy with the scoreline given the pressure that his side has soaked up. But they just cannot get themselves a scoring chance, the Dragons.
No, they haven't had decent field position. All their football has been coming off their own line. But you look at body language as both teams are walking to the scrum. I think the Dragons feel as though they're right in this contest.
Two ends. Ball in.
You know, the Broncos have had plenty of ball. They were walking to that scrum, looking at each other, wondering, well, what's happening here? We should be further in front. We're not. Can they keep their composure?
Anthony Griffin makes a change. Matt Gillett comes on. Teo, the try scorer, comes off. Scott Anderson is also out there now. And here is Parker. He works it up towards the forward. Not quite half an hour gone. It's just the one try, the difference at the moment. A converted try it is. And as Hodges brings it back towards the halfway line. Going to Anderson once again. Works it forward. Playing off the bench at the moment for Anthony Griffin after starting plenty of games in 2011. And now Lockyer. The ball in the air once again. It hangs there forever. Boyd going one way, coming back the other, almost running himself back into his own in-goal area. And again, the Dragons have to do it off their own goal line to begin a set of 6.
As soon as they put the ball in the air, you just watch the reaction from the Broncos players. They scream through. They're there to apply pressure. And it makes it difficult for the man carrying the football when he can hear those footsteps.
Both fullbacks have been very good to this point. And here is Young again.